I'm going to show you everything you need to know about sowing, growing, harvesting, etc. for sugar beets in Farming Simulator 25. This is quite a specialised crop and there's a lot we need to take into consideration here. One thing I am going to assume in this video is that you already know how to attach machinery like we have here to your tractors, etc., and how to operate machines. If you don't, I would probably suggest not doing sugar beets in the first place and watching something like my complete beginner guide. Hi, I'm Javier and I do all the latest games. If this video is helpful to you, please click the subscribe button in the below the video. So what do we need to do to prepare the fields for our sugar beets, first of all? Well, we are going to either need to plough our fields or use a subsoiler. Now that will actually basically cultivate or plough the fields ready for planting our sugar beets. The great thing about subsoilers is they're quite fast machines and they generally don't need a lot of horsepower to be used, and they're fairly cheap. A plough, however, is going to need, a lot more horsepower. And that really turns the soil over a lot more. So a subsoiler is absolutely going to be fine for your sugar beets. You should also be liming your fields. That's in fertilizer spreaders, and you need a breedle here. You're looking for the white icon, which is lime, to be able to actually lime your fields. And this is optional, but it will increase the yield of the crops that you are doing. You will also need to fertilize them, but this can be done once they are already sown. For actually then sowing the seeds of our beets, one, you will need to buy some seeds. And then secondly, you're going to need a planter. Okay, so seeders generally aren't going to actually do the job here. You need a planter for your sugar beets. If we go into planters, you can see here that we have the white sugar beet icon. And that is how you know that a machine is appropriate for planting sugar beets. So you plant them with these planters. Then obviously we need to fertilize them as they are growing. And where it gets quite interesting is when the sugar beet is actually ready to harvest. We do need to do quite a few things here. Well, maybe not. If we go down to root crops, you do need some specialist equipment to actually harvest your sugar beets. In beet harvesters here, you can see we have the different machines. They're quite expensive. This one is literally, well, they go up to about 700,000. And these are specific to sugar beets. They need a lot of brake horsepower, like an incredible amount of brake horsepower, etc. They are driven on their own, though, which is good. They're very, very expensive. This machine can harvest the indicated crop types. For a harvest to work, it also needs a suitable header. And what you also need here is a defoliator. Before sugar beets can be harvested, the foliage needs to be cut with a holm topper like this one. So basically, what you need to actually do here is cut off the top of your sugar beets, like with this one. And you can see here, this only needs 215 brake horsepower. So with this one, you can actually attach this to a tractor, basically. So you can attach this to a tractor on the front here, like you would with a combine harvester, and it will just top off all of your beets. And then you would buy this machine, which is a harvester. This harvester digs the sugar beets out of the ground. Note that holm topping is needed prior to using this machine. So you'd have to top it off with your tractor and then harvest the beets with this machine, basically. And that's 175 and then 97 for the two-step. These much more expensive items can basically do it all in one. As you can see, it does need a header to work, so you will need to actually head up the machine as well, but it can then also, harvest the actual beet as well at the same time. So it's more of a two-in-one option, but they are so incredibly expensive. It is, insanity. But that is how you actually harvest them. These here are the headers that you can attach to your beet harvesters as well, that you will need on the front of them. Like if I go and beet harvesters, you can see here, this machine can harvest indicated crop types. For a harvester to work, it also needs a suitable header. So for this 700,000 harvester, you're also then going to need a header here. that you buy as well. So it's a lot of steps involved. And then we also have beet loading. This machine can collect sugar beets from the ground and tips them into a trailer. So you also then need to actually collect them from the ground. Now, if you are buying a beet loader, that's going to be for ones like this. This harvester. This harvester digs the sugar beets out of the ground. Whereas these ones, I believe it's going to store them internally, and you don't need the loader for that one. So there's a lot of different options. Whichever way you do it, it's going to get very, very expensive. And once you've done all that, you can then just simply put them into a trailer ready to sell or store in your silo. And there you go, guys. That is everything you need to know about growing, sowing, and harvesting sugar beets in Farming Simulator 25. If you'd like to see other crop types or animals, check out the playlist you now see on screen.